Jonathan Kaminga just spilled the details on his free agency plans to Shams. We're going to talk a little bit about that. While he has firm offers on the table from the Phoenix Suns and the Sacramento Kings. We're also going to talk about the Pistons being listed as the favorite to land Cam Thomas if he signed and traded. We're going to talk about all that and more right after this.
Welcome to the number one place for your daily basketball news and analysis, NBA Central.
What's going on, basketball fans? Welcome to another episode of NBA Central, your number one spot for everything basketball related. I'm the host there, Hayes, but more importantly, you guys can follow the channel at NBA Central Pod on every social media platform we happen to be on. With that said, let's go ahead and get into this content for today. Quick episode, quick update on for you guys today. Shams Charania talked about Jonathan Kuminga. Actually said that he talked to Jonathan Kuminga in regards to his plans. And according to Shams, Jonathan Kuminga does not want to rush this decision, and he's not planning on rushing it at all with the Golden State Warriors. Shams' exact quote saying this: he did tell me, though, that he is in absolutely no rush on doing a deal with the Warriors right now. He's not accepting their current offers. He's added that he wants the team to explore options with his agent, Eric Turner, whether that's continuing conversations with the Warriors, but also sign and trade options that are available to him in the marketplace. Shams goes on to say that I'm told the Phoenix Suns and Sacramento Kings are two teams that have made concrete offers with the Warriors over the last week or so. They're two of the more aggressive teams with Kuminga. Now, we heard last week that Jonathan Kuminga and his camp were hoping that the Chicago Bulls were going to try to more aggressively pursue a sign and trade for him. They apparently did not. But now hearing that there are firm offers on the table from the Phoenix Suns and from the Sacramento Kings, it does give him a little bit of leeway, right? I think, one thing with this is that, we also heard from Jake Fisher today on his live stream on Bleacher Report that Kaminga and the Warriors both do not want to go the qualifying offer route, that the Warriors will be more apt to give him the deal that he wants rather than allow him to take the qualifying offer, but both sides kind of see this as a sign and trade. And that's kind of what held up the Warriors offseason and things like that. Reportedly, they want Al Horford, but they're trying to wait on what happens with Jonathan Kuminga. So hearing now that the Suns and the Kings have firm offers on board, I mean, it makes sense for those teams in different areas. The Kings are looking for as much talent as possible. I think the Kings are just looking for any type of upwards talent that can help. We don't know what that deal would look like. Would it include DeMar DeRozan? Would he join the Wild Hog season that is the Golden State Warriors with all those old players and want to go over there? That's speculation on my part. That's nothing that Shams or anybody has reported. That's just pure speculation and conjecture on my part. But, these being the two teams is interesting enough, right? We've heard now that Jalen Green with the Suns is planned on being the primary ball handler, which is going to be crazy to see there. Ben Simmons was an option there for them as well. The Kings, like I said, they're a team that right now is kind of trying to find that path forward. They won 40 games last season. They have no point guard really on their roster other than Dennis Schroeder. I guess they have Devin Carter, too, who maybe is looking to make a step up. They have Nick Clifford, who's a young player down there. But they have this odd mix of players that really – I mean, they could fit together on the court, maybe, right? But it still doesn't necessarily give them the best path forward, especially in the Western Conference. I don't know how much Jonathan Kuminga goes to rectify that either, from being 100% honest. But, I mean, it does give you a shot at some more talent down there. A on-ball creator in Jonathan Kuminga, who's also has some untapped potential, maybe defensively, that you're looking for there. With him and Keegan Murray, would they form a nice forward combo at the 1-2 punch there? Maybe that's what they're hoping for. And I guess we'll see how that ends up shaking out in the long run down there. But I think overall now you're just looking at the Kings trying to figure out their path forward, and the Suns, they're just looking at the most talent possible. They're rebuilding that thing around Devin Booker. You got Dylan Brooks there, you got Ryan Dunn there, you got of course Jalen Green there, you got Rasheer Fleming, you traded for Mark Williams, you got Kaman Malawak down there as well. Like, you got some talent down there, and the Suns it doesn't all fit together the right way yet, at least not on paper. But the Suns are trying to do almost a two timeline thing in a way, I think, with Devin Booker having some veterans down there, but also not completely mortgaging their future like they did before. And I guess we'll see how that plays out, if Jonathan Kuminga could be a part of that helps that for the now and in the future and gives them another player as well. So, we'll see. Jonathan Kuminga seems like he's ready to take the patient route with this, which a lot of the restricted free agents have to at this point. We just don't know what's going to happen with a lot of these free agents. I mean, even so much so that Jake L. Fisher on his live stream today in regards to Josh Giddy talked about, him and the Bulls relationship being strained, and, it is an option to take the qualifying offer down there, but neither side wants that done, but the relationship is strained and, trying to figure that out. But the other restricted free agent that's a part of all of this as well is Cam Thomas. Now, Cam Thomas, Jake L. Fisher, for what it's worth, on his live stream today, also said that he may be the most likely candidate to take that qualifying offer. But he did say that, that we'll see what happens there. Now, for what it's worth, the Pistons have also been voted as the team that's the likeliest squad that could add Cam Thomas in a hypothetical sign and trade. Right now, a sign and trade between Brooklyn and Cam Thomas. Now, this is me mixing another rumor that we heard a couple of days ago on potentially moving Jaden Ivey with the Pistons. Move Jaden Ivey in a deal that netted them Cam Thomas. Cam Thomas, who is solid off ball as a catch and shoot player, with that plays with a pace more like Cade Cunningham. Would they look at Cam Thomas as a more seamless fit next to than Jaden Ivey next to Cade Cunningham? I think that's what it's going to come down to. Now, Jaden Ivey had himself a great season last year. 17 points per game, 4.1 rebounds, 4 assists per game, shooting 40% from the three-point line as well. Jaden Ivey is nothing to shake your head at. And I think Jaden Ivey is a player that in the right situation where allowed to be him and kind of play more towards the things that suit his game could definitely be a player that does not stop in growing. He's barely begun to scratch the surface. But the Pistons, we've already heard, they're a team that right now is geared towards looking at the playoffs now. They are trying to make the playoffs now. They are shifted in this to now be a playoff team, and they are looking to compete in that playoff immediately. And you look at the Brooklyn Nets as well. They invested 4 first-rounders into the backcourt when it comes down to it as well. So that may be something that they're looking for. Maybe that's what's giving them this ability to play a little bit more hard ball with Cam Thomas when it comes down to it. But, we'll see. If the Pistons are interested in a swap in Jaden Ivey for Cam Thomas, what would that mean? And not that the Nets still would have to look at paying Jaden Ivey at the end of the season because his rookie scale contract is up, but he may not be a player that commands as much as Cam Thomas, and thus they could be looking at that as a more kind of lofty goal for them when it comes down to it. And, I mean, if the Pistons, who Cam Thomas is going to want to get paid, if they're going to want to put up and pony up the money that it's going to take to bring in Cam Thomas, that's absolutely sending a message to not just your team and your players, but also to the NBA that you are trying to compete for whatever it's worth at the highest level that you can in the Eastern Conference. And so I know there are going to be some Pistons fans that don't want to let go of Ivy, and I'm not saying you're wrong for that at all. But if the Pistons front office does see this as Cam Thomas being the better fit long-term to pair with Cade Cunningham, and they have an opportunity to go out and get that guy, why not get it? Why wait, right? And that's where the Pistons have to make a tough decision on what they're going to do next. Are they going to make that move to get the player in that they feel is better paired with their star in Cade Cunningham? And if you do that, I mean, I don't think anybody's going to be mad at you being aggressive about finding the right pairing for your guy, and that's really what it all comes down to. But you guys can let me know how you feel on that. Nothing really on Quentin Grimes either. Seems like Grimes is going to be a player as well that's probably likely to stay with the 76ers at a reasonable price. But one of these restricted free agents has to sign at one point, and the first one to sign on the dotted line could kind of set the tone for what could happen for the rest of these free agents. And I guess we'll see there. But let me know what you guys think down below. Out of the restricted free agents that are left, Quentin Grimes, Cam Thomas, Jonathan Kuminga, Josh Giddy, which of these guys do you think is going to sign a deal first around the NBA? Who do you think gets paid the most? Who do you think ends up staying with the team or going elsewhere? Let me know that down below. Otherwise, make sure you guys are following us at NBA Central Pod. You can send us any feedback, questions, comments, concerns, NBA Central Show at gmail.com. And then lastly, if you want to leave a text message and our voicemail for the mailbag, the number to do so, 773-270-2799. We are the number one spot for everything basketball related, and I'll catch you guys the next time I feel like making a video. Probably tomorrow. Peace, y'all.
This has been a presentation of the Break Media.